Caring really is an art, and so often we get involved in the mechanics of giving, but David and Martha have managed to transcend that process, if you will, and bring the art of caring to so many in need in our community.
When I came out of the seminary 47 years ago, I was assigned to a church in Michigan, and one of my heroes, one of my mentors was a pastor by the name of Red Hessler, and that's David's father.
David and Martha met at Valparaiso University. David was the first in our family to attend Valparaiso University. When he went to Valparaiso, he was thinking of two career paths, one being a pastor and the other a lawyer. There was pressure on the boys in our family to be a pastor because our father was a pastor. One of the four of us boys had to be a pastor. It wasn't even an unwritten rule. And so we felt that he, not so much because he was the second. So when he went to college, as I understand it, he kind of made a deal with God that if he would get over a 600 on the LSAT, the law school admission test, he would go to law school. If he got under a 600, he would go into the ministry. Wouldn't you know it, he got a 600 on the button. And I think he interpreted that to mean God saying, look, you can do either of those careers and I'm going to bless you. And so with that in mind, he decided to go to law school. Well, I was obviously paying much attention to that, and at that time, in my mind, decided, I think, you know what, I want to be a lawyer too.
Acts of kindness and mercy, true public service and citizenship are rarer. They're rare commodities in our society, in our country. And the Hessler family yet embodies that kind of spirit of generosity, that sense of public service, and that's sorely needed in our society today. And so all the more, we are appreciative at LMM, but I'm appreciative as well as someone who cares about the city of Cleveland, that we have families like the Hesslers, and in particular people like David and Martha, who give from the bottom of their hearts, often quietly, often out of a sense of philanthropy and civic service and public service.
Vision without action is really just a dream, but vision that is alive, that has action connected to it, can change the world. And actually, probably in the 60s and 70s at the Cleveland Lutheran High School Association, David became instrumental in probably rescuing a struggling young high school ministry. And then to see this success that came out of the campaign Vision Alive was just a kind of the icing on the cake. And the philanthropy, yes, was a big part of the naming of Hessler Commons, but it was really the leadership, the vision that was alive in people like David Hessler and Martha and so many others that made the High School Association as strong as it is today. Vision alive. You know, that's really what legacy is all about. You leave something beyond yourself that still makes a difference when you're not there.
In 1990, David Hessler received the Lutheran Man of the Year Award. It was presented by Dr. Ted Costell, and in doing so, Dr. Costell said, "Mr. Hessler is one of our youngest leaders. Through his wisdom, vision, and hard work, he has set up a leadership example for others to follow." You look at his record, the part that I know personally, he was on the board of Lutheran Hospital when Lutheran and Fairview joined together in 1986. He went on to serve on the parent board for those two hospitals. And subsequently, he was involved in the merger of those hospitals with the Cleveland Clinic in 1997. He became the hospital's leading representative on the Cleveland Clinic board, serving on their executive committee for a number of years. He was also involved in the development of the foundation as a freestanding, separate entity. And that, of course, is the foundation that is today known as the Community West Foundation.
He, of course, was the chairman of the board of Community West, but also has been involved in all of our committees at one time or another, and especially in the Grants Committee and in the Investment Committee. David was responsible, as we talked about changes, that we would not give up our flame of hope and not give up our motto of illuminating hope as we left Fairview Lutheran Foundation and became Community West Foundation. We listened to his advice, and our flame of hope is still with us to this day. He was responsible for our remarkable growth from 35 million to 120 million in assets, and also in our giving away $60 million to our community. He was responsible for our largest grant ever to the community, and also for our receiving our largest contribution as well to the Community West Foundation. The strategic plan, when we talked about what we should be and how we should get people in and talk about SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, David and I talked, and I said, Dave, our plan is simple. It's Matthew 25:40. As you do for the least of my brothers and sisters, you do for me. And thanks to David, we've instituted that as our strategic plan. We've been having breakfast together for 15 years, every other month. And we talk about Community West Foundation. We also talk about theology, we talk about philosophy. We've even exchanged books on theology together. So when he came to me and talked about the homeless Jesus and the experience that he had had crossing the quadrangle at Valparaiso University, where he was for a board and spiritual retreat, and he saw this statue in the middle of the quadrangle that had this homeless person laying on a park bench. And he peeked down and looked and saw the face, and he looked down and he saw the crucifixion marks on the feet, and he knew that that was Jesus, the homeless Jesus, which we have been so blessed to have him tell us about it. And now we have one in front of our offices, and we're going to let churches borrow it, and we can let people know that indeed Christ is in all of us, in the homeless and in our hearts. And I thank David so much for that.
What I admire about David and Martha Hessler is their faith. It's a quiet faith, but it is a faith of great strength. Reminds me of Mark 10, where Jesus says about himself, the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. And to me, that exemplifies David and Martha.
Martha has been a tutor for Building Hope in the City from the very beginning. Martha went into some of our schools that we had partnerships with, one of them being Luther Memorial School, and she tutored children way back in 2005. She started tutoring. She was one of our earliest tutors to tutor our refugee students who started coming to Luther Memorial School, and then she has been a tutor at our tutoring programs at Luther Memorial and here at the Hope Center ever since. We have a summer reading program, summer enrichment program every summer for our children, and Martha has faithfully put together groups of volunteers to come and feed lunch to the children during our summer programs, and we're very grateful to her for that as well. Martha is extremely popular with our kindergartners. She always tutors kindergarten. She's excellent at helping our early readers learn to read, and you can tell that Martha loves what she does, and you can tell that the children absolutely love Martha.
Martha making a steady, constant contribution through all the years. She was, for a time, a Sunday school teacher. When I first got here, was one of the key instructors in our confirmation program, and did that for many, many years. Recently, she has stepped into a very special ministry that we have here, bringing communion to our homebound members, and does that with another group of volunteers very faithfully and well, and is always generous with her time and with her energies in helping us get done what needs to get done in this church.
I think Martha Hessler has the spirit and qualities of Saint Martha, and she was known for her strength, concern for others, and her hospitality. And I think Martha continues the work of Jesus in so many ways. She's a woman of faith and compassion, and I will never forget Martha's kindness. I think one of Martha's most admirable traits is her kindness to others. in October of 2015. I was heartbroken when my husband passed away suddenly, and the holidays really lost any celebratory qualities. And one day I was coming home from work close to Christmas, right before the holiday, and I pulled into my driveway and I saw someone standing on my front porch holding a potted Christmas tree, and it was Martha Hessler. And I invited her in, and she looked around and said, "I knew you wouldn't have a Christmas tree or any decorations, and I wanted you to have a Christmas tree, and I wanted you to know that I was thinking about you." And you know, I was just so touched by her kindness. She's someone pretty special.
And Dave and Martha made a great gift for stained glass windows in our atrium that tell the story of the church in a way through light and color that is not often told.
The overall idea of this set of windows is to depict a Lutheran understanding of the mission of God in the world.
Valpo's campus and community are beneficiaries of the Hesslers' long history of service and philanthropy. David served in many roles on the board of directors, most notably for 10 years in leadership as chair of the board. Prior to that role, David served as board vice chair and as chair of the Committee on Scholarship and Student Life. And he's continued board service for the past 10 years as chair and then a member of the Academic and Student Affairs Committee. As part of the Valparaiso University Guild, Martha helped raise funds that contributed towards student scholarships, updates in our Center for the Arts, 5 new racquetball courts, and improvements in the Chapel of the Resurrection. Together, David and Martha have supported and volunteered on several other initiatives, including helping to create the Martin J. Wegman Memorial at the law school, which was named in honor of Martha's father. In 1991, Valpo presented David and Martha with the Alumni Service Award. And in 2010, the Board of Directors awarded David the Lumen Christi Medal, the university's highest honor. It is clear through their history of giving and volunteerism that David and Martha are not just those who support initiatives from afar. Rather, they are deeply involved in the organizations they care most about, and they are thoughtful with their gifts. Personally, my wife Veronica and I are inspired by the dedication and love that the Hesslers have for every one of their family members, especially the joy they take in the success of their grandchildren.
I want to say to my parents, congratulations. As your daughter, I can say you are both very deserving of this award. You are the foundation of our family. You demonstrate to us in the best way how to be stewards of everything that God has provided. You've instilled in us the importance of family and continuing our Christian heritage from one generation to the next. Our family is blessed because of you, because of the decisions you've made and the way you live your lives. And we hope, as the next generations, to carry on your legacy in how we live ours. So thank you for your incredible example, your love and support, your generosity, and your faithfulness. We love you. Congratulations.
David and Martha, as you accept this award, please also accept our congratulations and our admiration. You personify the Valpo ethos in the ways you give generously, serve humbly, and love earnestly. Valpo's motto is In luce tua videmus lucem. In thy light we see light. Thank you for reflecting God's light at Valpo, at Community West, and all around the world. God bless you.
Congratulations, David and Martha, on this truly deserved award.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Martha and David.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and best wishes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, both of you.
I love you, Grandma and Grandpa, and thank you for supporting our community. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Congratulations, David and Martha. I'm so glad you finally decided to accept the Art of Caring Award.